Good morning, beloved. It is Monday again, 7:30 Central Time. The question of the day is, what's the difference between consistent or redundant? It's Monday again. Is Monday consistent or is it redundant? It seems to happen again and again, like once a week. It's kind of that way. What's the difference? What's the difference between stubborn or tenacious? Couple things. First off, spelling. That's the big difference. Spelling. The other thing is attitude. Attitude is the difference between whether something is consistent or something is redundant. I had a good friend, his name is Nathan Wright. Nathan sent me a thing just a minute ago, kind of a memory lane, I guess. It was something I did maybe a year ago. But I was talking about what are you aiming for? And that people are aiming at nothing every day and hitting it. And it caught me off guard because it's like I say that a lot. And because I say it so often, the question came to mind, am I redundant? Am I just going on, or am I consistent? Some people would say I'm consistent. Others would say I'm redundant. Some people would say I'm stubborn. Other people would say I'm tenacious. What's the difference? Attitude, just how you perceive it. You know, our attitude about things affects how we view it. If you got up today and it's, oh my God, it's Monday again. Monday is redundant. But if you started the day like me, this is the beginning of a whole new week to get some stuff accomplished and to see God move. Monday is consistent. If you have a child that cleans up their room all the time and is pretty adamant about it, you would say they're tenacious. But if they don't clean up their room with the same kind of consistency, you would call them stubborn. It's really whether you agree with that particular decision, whether it's stubborn or whether it's tenacious. In Luke chapter 4, verse 16, it's said about Jesus that basically he went to the synagogue on the Sabbath day as was his custom. It's a nice way of saying as was his habit, as was his pattern, as was his consistency. I pray that if on a Sunday somebody asked, hey, I need to get a hold of Lee, where is he? Well, it's Sunday, he's at church. That they would know my pattern of life is that on the Sabbath day, I'm going to be at church. Or if I'm in my back bedroom, what's he doing? Well, he's probably praying and studying. That my consistency would be known by family and friends. I heard a study one time, don't know how true it is, but I heard a study that said we have to hear something at least 7 times before we actually hear it enough to think about changing some habit or some idea that we have. We have to hear it at least 7 times. Now, some people would call that redundant. Okay, you said it 7 times. Other people would call it consistent. It's just your attitude towards it. We've been taught by our pastor that you have to hear something so often that it becomes where you roll your eyes at it. It's like, oh, here we go again. I've heard it again. And what has been shared with us is that once you hear something so much that it becomes almost annoying, you've almost heard it enough. If you're going to create culture, you have to hear what your culture is so often that it's like you roll your eyes. Oh, here we go again. Pastor's going to be talking about culture. You have to hear it at least 7 times before you even think about changing. Now, for those of us that love change, that would be called consistency or tenacity. But for others who think they've got it and they feel like, man, I've heard it enough, it would be called redundant or stubborn. He's just so stubborn. He keeps saying it again and again. It's the same thing. The only difference really is spelling and your attitude towards it. It is so important in our Christian life, that we have consistency. Transformation comes from consistency, from being tenacious about going a direction and staying the course. You know, real change doesn't happen because you choose it. Real change doesn't happen because you have good intentions about changing it. Real change comes from doing something different again and again and again and again and again and again and again. I think that's 7 times. It's doing it often enough that it becomes the change, that you become what you have decided to change in your life, that you've done it so often. We would call that, in other terms, a habit, a lifestyle, that you would do a thing often enough that it transforms who you are. Today, some people will roll their eyes at something you say or something you did and go, that girl is just so redundant. They just say the same thing over and over again. Others would say, that person is so consistent. And they would both be right from that particular attitude and viewpoint. So my encouragement today is, if people are calling you redundant, if you hear something that you've said and you've been saying it for 30 years, it's your choice whether you choose to believe you're consistent or you're redundant, whether you're boring or whether you can be counted on. You know, consistency is so important. Integrity is about being the same all the time. McDonald's is a restaurant of integrity. I know that's going to surprise you, but it is a restaurant, it is a fast food place of integrity. And the reason I say that is, if you like a number one with a Dr. Pepper here in Oklahoma, you will like it in Wisconsin, you will like it in Minnesota, you will like it in Florida, you will like it in California. Because what they do is the same thing day in and day out. And if you like it in one state, you'll like it in another state, because they are consistent. Some would call that redundant. They can be counted on to make it the exact same way every time. And if you don't like it in Oklahoma, the chances are you won't like it in any other state either. Why? They're consistent. They are redundant. They are the same. That's what integrity does. It's, you can count on that person. You can count on that place. You can count on that system being the same. One of the things I love about our church is you can go to any one of our locations and you will find consistency. Someone would call that redundancy. Both would be right. We can be counted on to be who we are. And we strive for that. Now, all of us have bad days and we don't hit our mark or where we'd like to be as a person or as a church or as a system or whatever. But as a whole, we can be counted on to be who we are because we are consistent. Can you be counted on today? Or do people continually try to figure out whether it's Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde today? I encourage you to be a person who is consistent, to be a person who is tenacious. Stay the course. I want to give a shout out to my brother Steve Armstrong, my brother Lane Armstrong, and my sister Tracy Armstrong. She sent me a thing this morning saying today is a National Sibling Day. Those are my siblings. I'm proud of them and love them a bunch. I also want to say hi to a few folks who went to the test of telling me that they're watching. You know, the only way I know if you're watching, because they only let me see a few folks, is if you'll let me know you are paying attention. Cole, Blake, Jared, Summer, Rhonda, Carol, another Lee. Thank you all so much. Hey, if you think this video would encourage somebody or help somebody you connected to, would you press share right now? And together, you and I will impact thousands of lives. Love you all so much. Look forward to seeing you next Monday.